In the heart of Manila, where jeepneys roar and vendors call out their afternoon specials, 17-year-old Rafael Santos stood beside a small wooden cart helping his mother sell halo-halo. Their spot near Quiapo Church was always crowded, but what truly drew people in wasn't the dessert, it was Rafael's voice. Deep, warm, and astonishingly nostalgic, his singing made strangers pause mid-step, as if Manila's busy rhythm suddenly softened just to listen. Every time Rafael sang, "Can't Help Falling in Love," older passersby would smile and whisper, "Grabe, parang si Elvis," but Rafael never believed it. To him, he was just a boy trying to help his mother, who had grown weaker over the past year. Her illness made work difficult, but she still showed up every day, offering customers her gentle smile. One warm evening, while the sun dipped behind the church's domes and painted the sky gold, Rafael's voice floated through the air with extra tenderness. An elderly American tourist approached slowly, captivated. Tears glimmered in his eyes as he listened. When the song ended, he stepped forward. "Young man," he said softly, "I've heard Elvis live, but what you have, it's more than similarity. It's heart." He handed Rafael a small envelope. Inside was an open audition pass for AGT Manila 2025. Rafael stared in disbelief. His mother touched his cheek, her eyes filling with proud tears. "Anak," she whispered, "maybe this is your miracle." That night, on the rooftop of their tiny home, Rafael practiced under the stars, singing not for applause but for hope. He didn't know it yet, but his life, and his mother's, was beginning to change. The day of the AGT Manila 2025 audition arrived faster than Rafael expected. He clutched the audition pass tightly as he and his mother entered the arena, its enormous glass doors shimmering like the entrance to another world. Inside, contestants warmed up, dancers stretched, singers rehearsed, and cameras moved everywhere. Rafael felt small, like a single grain of sand in an ocean of talent. Backstage, his hands trembled around the microphone. "Anak," his mother whispered, squeezing his shoulder, "just sing the way you always do. Sing from the heart." When the stage manager called his number, Rafael inhaled shakily and stepped into the blinding light. The judges, three of the most influential figures in Philippine entertainment, looked at him with polite curiosity. To them, he was just another nervous kid with a story. "What will you be singing today?" one judge asked. "Love Me Tender, Po," Rafael replied, voice barely audible. The music began. The first note left his lips like a gentle breeze, soft but full of emotion. Instantly, something shifted in the room. A hush fell over the audience. People leaned forward. A mother in the front row placed a hand on her chest. The judges exchanged stunned glances. As Rafael continued, his voice grew stronger, richer, filled with a tenderness that felt like it came from another era. It wasn't mimicry, it was pure soul. For the first time, Rafael wasn't the boy selling halo-halo. He was a storyteller, a dreamer, a voice Manila had been waiting to hear. When the final note faded, the silence was broken by an explosive standing ovation. Tears streamed down Rafael's cheeks. "You didn't sound like Elvis," a judge finally said with emotion. "You sounded like someone who understands love." And just like that, a star was born. Just days after Rafael's breathtaking audition aired on television, life took a heartbreaking turn. His mother collapsed in their small kitchen while preparing breakfast. Rafael rushed her to the nearest hospital, his hands trembling as he held her fragile body. Doctors explained that her condition, which she had quietly endured for months, had worsened and required immediate treatment. The medical bills piled up faster than he could comprehend. Rafael spent nights in the hospital chair, watching monitors blink beside his mother's bed. He practiced quietly in the hallway, torn between chasing his dream and staying by her side. When rehearsals for the semi-finals began, he considered withdrawing from the show completely. "What good is singing if I can't save her?" he whispered to himself. But news travels fast, especially kind news. The AGT Manila crew heard about Rafael's situation. Soon, fellow contestants began visiting the hospital, bringing food, flowers, and even offering to help with chores. A group of dancers held a small fundraiser performance outside the hospital entrance. Strangers who recognized Rafael from the show left encouraging notes taped to his mother's door. Then, one afternoon, the elderly American tourist, the man who first discovered Rafael, arrived unexpectedly. He placed a warm hand on Rafael's shoulder and said, "Son, you're not alone. Let us carry this with you." He helped arrange financial assistance and spoke with the hospital's charity department. For the first time in weeks, Rafael felt the weight lifting. Keep singing, the man said gently. Your voice brings people together. Let it heal you too. Rafael returned to the AGT stage not as a boy struggling alone, but as someone lifted by the love of an entire community. The night of the semi-finals arrived with bright lights, roaring crowds, and a kind of electricity that made every performer's heartbeat quicker. But Rafael stood backstage in silence, clutching something precious, his father's old jacket. It was slightly oversized, the fabric worn but warm with memories. His mother had given it to him earlier that day from her hospital bed. Your papa believed in your voice, she had whispered. Wear this tonight, so both of us are with you. As Rafael stepped onto the AGT Manila stage, the audience erupted into cheers, but he barely heard them. He closed his eyes, imagining his mother lying in her hospital room, hoping desperately that the television there was loud enough for her to hear him. The music for If I Can Dream began, one of Elvis's most hopeful, heartfelt songs. Rafael inhaled deeply and let the first note rise from his soul. Instantly, the crowd grew silent. His voice, slightly trembling but rich with emotion, carried a weight no one could ignore. Every lyric felt like a message, a prayer, a plea for strength. He sang for his mother's recovery. He sang for every Filipino family fighting their own battles. He sang for the boy he once was, standing in the streets, dreaming under the chaos of Manila. As the song built, so did his courage. His voice soared, powerful yet fragile, raw yet beautiful. The camera captured tears streaming down the faces of audience members. Even the judges were visibly moved. One wiped her eyes before she could hide it. When the final note echoed through the arena, the silence lasted a heartbeat, and then erupted into a thunderous standing ovation. Judges rose instantly, clapping as though honoring something sacred. Backstage, his phone buzzed with a video call from the hospital. His mother's face appeared, weak but glowing with pride. I heard you, Anik, she whispered. Your voice reached me. And for Rafael, that moment meant more than any trophy. The night of the AGT Manila 2025 finals felt like a dream Rafael wasn't sure he deserved. The arena glowed with golden lights, cameras moved like watchful stars, and thousands of people filled the seats, each one eager to witness history. Backstage, Rafael held the microphone with steady hands, but his heart shook with emotion. His mother, finally discharged from the hospital, sat in the front row. Seeing her there, frail but smiling, gave him a strength deeper than anything he had felt before. For the finals, Rafael made a bold decision. He wouldn't sing an Elvis classic. Instead, he would perform Para Sa Nanay, an original song he had written during long nights at the hospital. It was a tribute, not just to his mother, but to every parent who sacrifices silently so their children can dream. When the host called his name, Rafael stepped onto the stage. The lights dimmed. A single spotlight illuminated him as the soft melody began. His voice came out gentle, almost trembling. Kung may awit para sa puso, ikaw ang aking himig. Every word carried a story. Nights selling halo-halo, tears shed in hospital corridors, the warmth of his mother's hand, and the miracle moments that led him here. As he reached the chorus, his voice cracked slightly, but he kept going. The emotion was real, raw, and breathtaking. Audience members cried openly. One judge pressed her hand to her heart, another mouthed, "Wow." When the final note faded, a silence fell over the arena, a silence so profound it felt like the whole city was holding its breath. Then, all at once, the crowd rose to its feet in a thunderous, roaring ovation. The host stepped forward, voice shaking with excitement. The winner of AGT Manila 2025 is Rafael Santos. Golden confetti rained from above. Rafael rushed into his mother's arms as she stood, tears streaming. Anik, she whispered through her sobs, you didn't just win, you healed us. And in that moment, under the shining lights and falling gold, Rafael realized the truth. He didn't win because he sounded like Elvis. He won because he sang with the heart of a Filipino son.